There we go.
The grass grows really long in one spot.
Yeah, and that stuff back there I hopefully want to transplant someday.
What is it?
It's like saltgrass. There's some over there too. But if not, it's whatever. But at least I just didn't want to hack it down and not talk about it at least. And I've been recording that the whole time. I did not realize that. Wow. Hello world, it's Gret and Kim here with G-Fam for Life. And we're just gonna come today and talk to you guys about something that I think all RV people should know and just to be able to rely on themselves, and that is RV maintenance. So if you're an enthusiast out there traveling around on a yearly basis or even part-time, there's something that you always want to do pretty much annually, and some things even like every quarterly, and sometimes even monthly.
Some things, one of the tips you'd want to do every time you pull out. Yeah.
So, and we're just going to go ahead and run you through some maintenance tips and helpful ideas to just help you guys keep your RV in ship shape, so that way you guys can just be out there enjoying the traveling experience.
And this was a requested video by one of our viewers, and so
I'll go ahead and put that person down below right there.
Yeah, shout out to you, and I hope it's what you were expecting. So here is our 5 tips. Let's get into them. Alright, so our first step is battery maintenance. If you have a deep cycle battery, you will need to add water to the plates annually at least, if not more often, depending on how often you're using your battery. For this, you will need a flathead screwdriver, distilled water, and a funnel. You want to make sure that you're not overfilling, but have it filled enough that each one of these are covered with water. And currently we don't need that much water, but since it's our yearly task, we just fill them up with the little bit that they need. Then you just want to make sure you put everything back on. And the next step after this would be to put the strap right there. But currently we're stationary, so we do not use the strap. But if we were to move our RV, we definitely would replace that strap.
Okay, so step 2 is going to be pest prevention maintenance. What this actually is a flea collar for your dog. You could buy this at any local store or pet store, and it doesn't have to be brand specific. But essentially, this has gone around in the RV community as word of the wise that this, for some reason, repels wasps and hornets. And the reason I say that is because on your refrigerator vents, to let the heat escape from that compartment, there is access for those type of critters to get in, as far as wasps, bees, and hornets. And so that's definitely an area that you want to keep them out, because basically that's inside your house at that point. So what you want to do is just remove the cover itself by twisting the knobs and then lowering the tray. And as you can see, we already have one in there, kind of just tucked away. And so you just want to discard the old one. And go ahead and put the new one in. I personally like to spread it out, so that way it kind of covers more than just a concentrated area. Nothing too spectacular. Nobody really sees it, and it's really just to keep out some bugs. So, and then that will prevent wasps, hornets, and bees from coming in here and making a home inside your home. Also, you want to go ahead and repeat this step for your water heater area as well. basically any area that you have this type of vented access for any appliance that's exhausting heat, you want to just go ahead and put a flea collar inside of the compartment just to keep away any critters. All right, so next tip is tip number 3, and that will be your generator maintenance. We do not have an onboard generator, but the same rules would apply whether it's an onboard generator or one that you've bolted on like we have. So the main things you really want to focus on when maintaining your RV's generator is definitely changing the oil, just like you would in any vehicle you run or any machine that you run all the time. You definitely want to change the oil in your generator. Also, your spark plug and your air filter is always a good thing to maintenance as well. And then I recommend, after doing all of those things, to turn it on and use a heavy load on it to make sure that it can take the maximum amount of effort that your trailer or your RV is going to exert. And by that I mean like run the air conditioning, turn on some fans, turn on lights and things like that to make sure that it can carry the load that your house is actually going to extract from it. So that would be tip number 3, would be your generator maintenance. All right, so tip number 4 is going to be your roof maintenance for your RV or your travel trailer. And by that I mean you want to go up there annually and maybe even after a strong storm, if you're not too comfortable with the amount of force that the winds or rain have put on your trailer. Basically, you want to go up there and you want to check around the seals of like your air conditioner, your exhaust pipes for your sinks and things like that, your satellite if you have one up there, for your TV. Basically anything that's bolted on your roof, you want to just go ahead and check the perimeter of that to make sure the seal is still good and not compromised, and then you want to recoat that also as well. I will link a video up above of that process that we've made before on our other annual maintenance to our RV, and that will show you step by step as to exactly how to perform your recoating of the roof of your RV. All right, so our last tip here is your tires on your RV and or your travel trailer. It's all one and the same. They are very important. I didn't put this in the beginning, but I feel like we saved the best for last, because to me, I personally feel like this is probably the most important because it actually comes down to safety. All the other ones are for convenience and for, you know, just making your house a little bit more enjoyable, but this one by far takes the cake as far as safety. The things you will need is a flathead screwdriver and a grease gun, and what this procedure is actually called is packing the hubs. And so what you're doing is that you're just going to take off this cap on your hub protector, and then there's this rubber seal that's inside that protects everything. You want to remove both of those, and you just want to go ahead and connect this. Make sure you hear a nice little click, so that way it's on the fitting, and you just want to pack it until you start seeing grease coming out of the hub there, and that way you know it's nice and full and it's lubricated. Now the reason that you do this is because inside of here there are bearings that when your axle attaches to it, it's actually spinning around on some bearings, and so eventually if those dry out and lock up on you, you could actually have a failure for your wheel to spin, or it could just literally come completely off of the hub, which is not a good sight when you're pulling your 7,000 plus pound house or you're traveling around the country with your family in your RV. And so you just want to go ahead and pack that, put the seal back on, and then put the beauty cap back on, so that way it keeps dirt and anything out of that area. Now I've mentioned this before in a safety video for RVing, and I'll link that up below as well. But while you're here inspecting the hubs for your tires, you also want to just go ahead and check the air pressure and make sure it's at the recommended manufacturer rate for the tire itself. And then you also would like to just go ahead and check the tread wear on there to make sure that it's not wearing unevenly, and to just make sure that you don't have any steel bands showing or nails in your tires, because you definitely don't want to have to deal with that once you're out on the road. And we also recommend, if you have the option, to bring a small portable air compressor with you, so that way you are self-sufficient and you don't have to rely on roadside assistance or getting to the nearest gas station and hoping that you have quarters, things like that. So there's your last safety tip for your traveling trailer or your RV. I hope that these tips were helpful for you guys and very informative. We thank you for the request for this video, and if you haven't already, please subscribe for more videos like this and other ones as far as being stationary. And we thank you for your support. Give it a big thumbs up, and we'll see you guys next time.